Today I will talk you about the Tajik language. If you have never heard of, Tajik language is spoken in Tajikistan, and it's a country in Central Asia, which is roughly there are 9 or 10 million Tajik language speakers, while there's a large Tajikophone minority in Samarkand and Bukhara in Uzbekistan. Tajikistan is a country kind of between Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Afghanistan, and China. But I will mostly talk about the differences between the Persian language because for some it's considered as a Persian dialect. But we will see. I'm not an expert to decide on that. I know it's really similar in many cases, and I'm going to explain these similarities mostly. So the Tajik language is written with Cyrillic alphabet, which mostly known as the Russian alphabet. And in terms of differences from Persian, I will just dive into examples. For example, the first A in some words is an example, Amadan, which means to come, became Omadan in Tajik. Or in some cases, in some names, I'm not going to talk about in linguistic terms details, so I'm going to call them names. Like a Hona became Hane, or Bache, which means child, becomes Bacha, etc., etc. In some cases, the V became W, Swal, in Persian, Swal, but in Tajik it became Swal, or Vatan, which means homeland, became Vatan. I think it's more like a underlined pronunciation. Anyway, I will talk about a bit how do we compare in example we have as blah blah dida, which means it's so similar with the structure, not the meaning, as long as blah 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 is. For example, in darah as and dida balantar ast. So this tree is bigger than that one, not as big as, but bigger than. I will be giving the writing the scripts in Tajik, or also with the Latin alphabets. With super Latin in Persian is tarin. We added, for example, kalantarin pisar, which means the tallest boy. It's considered in Persian, it's in Tajik, but also there's another usage of pesara kalantarin, the same. For pronouns, they are the same as Persian, man, to, vey, ma, shoma, anha. But for the vey and u, which are two different pronouns for third person singular. So in Persian, the vey, it's an usage of more literate, while u is more like a he, she, because there are not any genders in Persian. It's the contrary in Tajik. In Tajik, vey is the common use for he, she, it, while u is being used for literate terms. But also vey, so he, she, can be associated directly with a noun. For example, vay mardak. In Persian, we say in mard, which means this man. Or vay kor. In Persian also is in kor, which means this business, this work. For the third person plural, it's vayo, which is anha in Persian. So that's also a difference. And I will give a small detail about indefinites, so which means like any, anyone. So we use the element of kim, which is borrowed from Uzbek. So it's kim, ki, gives us any, and kimchi gives us anyone. For suffix of not prepositions but postpositions, prepositions and postpositions that comes after. So ra is the same for Tajik. We mostly use it with a. So baray mana for me. For as it also means out of or from. I will give it with an example. As handidan amurdam. This one is in Tajik, so we are laughing out of. Ba It's not ba, which means meaning with in Persian. It's be. Be is in Persian is mostly to. So with the example guft bayak mardaka digara, guft bayak mardaka digara, he spoke to another man. With dar hauza kertit. So he fell into the pool. Ta, to, in Persian is ta, which means until. To Sahara, until dawn. Be, it's the be in Persian, not be in Persian, which means without. Be sashoka, without towel. So also we have o daraft. This one means some indirect means he went to get water, always water, and raft is went. Other personal references and some information about other suffixes. So ani, which is a suffix of something to. For example, didani is something to see, or raftani, something to go, or also who ends to go. Dodani, who ends to give. For example, man kino raftani shodam. I was planning to go to cinema. And kino, maybe you can realize if you know any German, it means cinema, and they took it from Germans because there was a important German minority in Central Asia, mostly in Kazakhstan, going on with ani. Vay shahr raftani handani raft. So he went to the city to study, for studying, or with the intention of studying. Okay, I'm going to continue with some other examples. Havliya rofta choya karda meram. After sweeping the yard, I will go and prepare the tea. Another example, az man amadagi penjodam, az on gisha kuchi kuchidar raft. Since I arrived, 5 people have left this village. Mendar Technicum Handagi. I studied in a technical school. I'm neither Persian nor Tajik, so my pronunciation could be incorrect. So just tell me a phrase structure with say using the suffix be. Someone ro guftan ke, or X ro guftan ke. They told X that. So there's a strong, especially in northern parts of Tajikistan, strong Tajik Uzbek influence from Uzbekistan in terms of language, of course. Normally, we don't add suffixes for both adjective and the name, but with the Uzbek influence, we say, for example, Muallime kitabesh. In Uzbek is Muallimin kitabi. In Turkish, muallimin kitabı, öğretmenin kitabı. For some cases, for the endings, in order to say I saw you, we say didamatha. That a in the end is actually a ro or ra in Persian, but we mostly say without an r. Megiran shah, he or she took it. Burdamesh, I brought it. Or Merd muyash safet, the man with white hair. For asking questions in Persian it's aya, meger, aya, oyo, or the tonation in Persian, kar kerdi, etc., etc. With the pronouns koja, they're all the same in Tajik. But we have this ending suffix mi, borrowed from Uzbek, again a Turkic influence. So the example, Pagob meraftagi shuditan mi, are you planning to leave tomorrow? That mi gives the main sense of question. And there is another, not about question, suffix of gi, for example, setagi, sekilogi, narozigi. These ones, se is 3, ta is quantity, amount of 3, and setagi, something for 3, amount. or sekilogi, something for 3 kilos. And for extensiveness, for very, very something, very green, very red, all red, we still use a Turkish structure of making words, which means an example. Sapsafet. I forgot what safet is. Okay, I will be skipping here. Supsurh, all red. Zapzart, all yellow. That zard is yellow. That zap is like a random prefix that we use to say all yellow. In Turkish we also have that, like sapsarı, zapzart, supsur, kıpkırmızı. So we have also suffix of diminutive, akı. It's like moder is mother, moderak, little mother, but in a kind way, not in a pejorative way. Or bahçe, bahçenak, small child. Or hordakak, very small and cute. And I will just want to talk about a detail, the suffix for making words oniden, to make indicative. It creates a word from a noun, from a name. For example, sabz is green. Sabz oniden is to make green. Or machine is like mechanics. In Persian it's car. Moshimi kunoiden means to mechanize. I'll be giving some examples in a table. First, which the pego, pega, derya, ber, menden, sergerden, or some Turkic words like ota, aka, or some Russian words like kravat on the table. So as I said, I'm neither a Persian nor a Tajik. I'm just I will be talking about in some random topics that I'm into, that I'm interested here. So I'm open to any kind of comment or suggestion. See you soon.